Ladies and gentlemen, the Hive is live. Bring your vision. This is how we build.
Good morning.
1 million cups.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning. 1MC time. Are we good? It's nice to see you all. We got a little bit of sunshine. I was telling somebody I was lazy the other day when it's cloudy and gray. It just feels like, yeah, it should be sweats and coffee and tea in the morning, and we got to motivate ourselves to get up and go to work. Again, thank you for being here. Scan the QR code for us. That would be fantastic. And check in. We had some news from 1MC. I don't know if I'm quoting it right, Trev, but it was, we are currently, I think, ranked like number 3 in the nation for our 1MC. I just want you to know it's because of you. They're tracking us, so, and think about that. That is across the nation. I think there's
I actually think we might be higher than that, and I was putting together numbers and pictures. They have our numbers,
yeah,
like we said last week, drastically low on every account. So
we might be.
When we report our actual numbers, it might be a lot different.
All right, so look, that's what you're doing. The numbers. Anyway, I think they've been very surprised in a community of our size to have the impact we have. But again, it's all of you showing up, all of you being here, supporting our entrepreneurs. So again, I always extend gratitude for all of you taking time to be here. And in the room, it's kind of interesting today. We have some folks who are going to present, and we actually have 2 presenters today. And then we have people who have attended 1MC and went through either the work at the SOH or work with Trevor and different people. So in this room, there are some exciting folks that are launching, possibly scaling. So when you're in here, connect with everyone. Stay after 1MC to connect with folks. But in the room, there's a pretty great group of people who are doing something within the ecosystem. And then I want to always thank our sponsors, the Hivve. It's been just a generous, incredible sponsor. And then the Lonely Pine for the coffee. If you haven't been there, the kids are great, and they're the baked goods are off the charts. I still have them, freeze them, put them away, because if other people taste them, they'll take them. So without further ado, I would like to bring our first presenter. Where's Stephanie? All right, come on up. Please welcome Stephanie to the stage. I'm going to let her share more. You are live, my friend.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to present today. This is my second time at 1MC, and the first time just kind of blew my mind at how well you guys stay connected and just support each other. And I am ready to show you who I am. So, I am a mother of 7 boys combined, 3 of my own and 4 that I have taken under my wing. They all age range from 2 to 21, gonna be 21, so that's pretty scary. But that has taught me to adapt quite a lot and to learn to enjoy everything in the chaos. I move around constantly, so I have to learn to relax with that. But it's fun, and I enjoy every part of it. Before this, I was a CNA. I actually wore a lot of different hats. So before my CNA work, I was the logistic coordinator for a beekeeping company that moved out of White City to Kentucky. Unfortunately, we couldn't go with them, so I decided to get into CNA work, certified nursing assistants, and that kind of allowed me to grow in a different way, in the sense of helping people at their most vulnerable. And for someone who is very emotional and empathetic, I grew quite a bit from that. And then after that, I had to step away from CNA because it took a little bit too much time from my family. So I decided to step into the Delivery Association job part-time, but I felt like that was just kind of a dead-end road for me. It was the same mundane routine, and I needed more. So my turning point, at a certain point, I realized I needed more flexibility not just for me, but for my family. I wanted to be present, but still build something for myself. And that is where I found BVM, Best Version Media. Finding them was like a diamond in the rough. I never considered myself in the position of a salesperson until this moment. This position has pulled me out of my comfort zone and continues to do so. My mission is, well, when I was placed in foster care at the age of 8, I went through 28 different homes in a 10-year span. I never really got that strong community feel to lean on. I never found that until Grants Pass became my career to take care of. Strength and growth comes only through continuous efforts and struggles. People don't connect with perfect, they connect with real. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams, and I truly believe that. A lot of people, when I first started doing this publication, they never said it, but I could feel the awkwardness and the doubt with what I was doing. And I still shrug it off and continue to tell myself that my dream is bigger than what people are telling me. In an effort to grow in the Grants Pass community, I'm pledging to have an honorary donation system to where 2 quarters a year I will donate to charities or organizations of my client's choice in honor of that business. In honor of that business. Your hard work is being recycled to the community in more than one way. And that's about it. I want to say thank you to all of you. I know it was a very short presentation. This is my first presentation of hopefully many to come by. But once again, I just want to say thank you. My contact information is up if you would like to. Yeah, thank you again. And
Thank you so much.
are there any questions?
So you connect, so you're a trusted source for when somebody needs plumbing or car repair or childcare.
Yes, so my publication, along with digital, but mainly my publication, is an ad space, but also a community storytelling.
So how do you vet them to find out they're not a schmuck?
Well, that's a great question. So with more visibility becomes trust. So with my publication, it gets sent out to multiple residents throughout the Grants Pass area. So with that, with more visibility, with more times you seeing their publication, you get the trusted feel like, okay, I can actually call this plumber to come and fix my clogged toilet.
Is there anything like a star system where they trust you, they go, and then they can say, that's a 5-star, or that's a 1-star, 2, 3, or 4-star? Is there feedback from the public once they use who you recommended?
Absolutely. On our digital side, we do carry the digital advertising as well, and with that, we allow our customers to leave reviews all in one spot for our clients to see.
Who do you recommend for plumbing?
That's a great question. I don't know yet, but I would love to speak with them too.
Have you thought about using anybody like the Better Business Bureau or Angie's List, or do you vet any of your people that way? If you don't have, I guess it's a twofold question. Let me back up. Let's say somebody comes to you for, since we're picking on plumbers, let's go with plumbers. If somebody comes to you for plumbing and you don't have one, but you want to find one, do you go out and vet them? Do you go to BBB? Where do you find them?
I do my searching around everywhere. I first started through the commerce, and Terry helped me out a lot trying to find where to actually start. So I look through Facebook, Instagram. I find people that already have their name out there, and I want to help them get it out there even more and more solid.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Do you charge your people for being in your book?
I
Is there
do.
a cost?
Yes, there is a monthly charge. Yes.
Hi. I think maybe it moved too quickly for me or I missed it. Can you please tell me the name of your website, the name of your publication, and how we would access that? How would we gain access to
Yes,
the information?
absolutely. And I did go way too fast and kind of blurred that out completely. My publication is going to be called Grants Past Neighbors, and I work with Best Version Media.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
So I've been told, like Angie's List, they charge thousands of dollars to their, I guess you call it, the people they refer out. They have to pay fees and all that, so much a month and so much a year. And I guess, are your fees like small compared to them? Do you have like a rate?
I haven't actually looked at Angie's List prices, so I can't give a solid answer on that. But I mean, our prices, they're not for, I wouldn't say they're for like starting up businesses.
Okay, and you're focusing just in Josephine County?
At the moment, yes, but I do branch out like Merlin and Gold Hill and.
But you're planning on going to Medford and Ashland and Roseburg and all
I do
and all
have
that?
a publisher that I work with in Ashland and one also in Klamath Falls. So we kind of have our own little jurisdictions.
Okay. Is this a franchise by chance?
It is, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have any other questions?
You mentioned that your customers are going to be, are your customers the companies or the readers?
They could honestly be both.
Both? Okay. So are the companies that are publishing articles in your publication, what kind of content are we going to be seeing from them?
You could be seeing anything that relates to their business or anything that is a pressing concern to them. We are given a guideline for what content can be put into our magazine, but I want to express the space that you are allowed with this publication, mine in particular. With the right wording, you can pretty much write about anything, and that's what I want my publication to be about. I don't want it to just be about your business, but what you are doing with your business, how your business is helping the community. So, yeah, thank you for that.
Anybody else? All right, so, oh.
Thank you. Rich, Rogue Media Solutions. I've met this lady before. She's really nice. And I think the thing that makes it different than Angie's List is that the mission behind what she's trying to do is to, and it really can go either way here, but the story of your business can get out there this way, whereas Angie's List is really selling to people, and that's a little harder to do. Around here, it needs to be, people need to get behind where they buy you, and getting your story out there is really kind of the biggest thing and the hardest thing to do.
Absolutely, I agree. Thank you for that.
I love that. All right, so.
Where will your print media be found?
It comes straightly to resident stores.
Okay, so like Fred Meyer, Walmart, whatever, at the check stand, is that where somebody would find your publication to purchase
Nope,
it?
no.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
It gets sent out directly to residents' homes.
Oh, okay, got it.
All right, so the biggest question is, as a community, what do you need from us?
I am always looking to connect with more and more people. If you know any good references for me, I would love to sit down and talk with them. I want to stay engaged with the community.
I love that. All right, we got to ask a couple more questions because Trevor had to leave. So,
What you explained over there really helped me a lot. That really helped explain what she's doing. And the best thing you'll find is meeting in groups like this, because a one-on-one with somebody will get you a good referral, and that will expand your business. And go to as many groups as you can, like greeters and all that. And that will really expand it. That's the way this community works.
I felt that. Thank you.
all right. Well, this is awkward. So, anybody got some good dad jokes that we can tell, or?
So she said dad jokes. So, all right, here we go. What do you call a cow's joints? I messed it up. It's what do you call a cow's knees? I messed it up. A burger joint.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming up and sharing your business, your story with us. Also, I'm curious, how many people have owned, operated a franchise before? So that's a model, like as an entrepreneur, that's a great model where a lot of pieces of the pie that are really, really hard are handled by somebody else, right? And you get to just run the business. So thanks for sharing with us. It's awesome. So after today's one, we do have another presenter, by the way. And after today's presentation, 1MC, we have another event. And the event is called Unscripted. It's a storytelling masterclass. It is I'm a little winded, sorry. I just ran the stairs like a madman. So it's put on by some people who have presented here at 1MC. Alexandria here, and also we have Ben sitting next to her there. They're going to be doing the presentation. It's a workshop. It's a marketing workshop. It's a storytelling workshop for your brand. So you're gonna, if that's interesting to you, if you're an entrepreneur, I would highly advise you stick around for that. It starts at 11:30 today. So we'll have a short break after 1MC. We'll get set up for that, and then we'll get that kicked off. Cool? You're all invited, by the way. Okay, so we're gonna get set up for this second presentation. Get yourself a cup of coffee, say hi to the person next to you, and we'll be right back.
up when she was here. People, we're getting ready for our next presenter. Whenever you are ready. Vanessa, how are you feeling? Good. You're good? You're
It's working.
This is what you do. You got it. Oh, I love that so much. That'd be fun to teach our interns. All right, everybody, if you'll gather around, we can allow our next presenter to take the stage. I did want to say thank you for asking questions, and I wanted to, remind everyone your value that you bring in the space for the presenters is it's okay to ask questions, and it's the reason we're here is we want to help them in their business. Sometimes it is, you launch a company. I don't know how many in this room, but you launch a company and you're kind of like questioning it. You're not like really sure, like you know it in your head. But sometimes when you get on a stage, it's hard, or even when you're sharing it out in the community to present that, it becomes difficult. And I just want to say thank you to all of you to ask, like really think about your questions. And we're trying to get the presenters out earlier. We are a little small, mighty team of organizers, but get the information out early so you have an idea who's presenting. But just, I just want to say I super appreciate you because we are all here to help support entrepreneurs. And asking them the questions might change and make a difference. I was thinking about Billy's journey, like getting on board with them, like whatever it is that you're thinking about or something that if it can help an entrepreneur, an idea or a resource or connection, super appreciate that. So thanks for presenting and thank you for the questions and Stephanie's new journey. So I would like to introduce Vanessa, and I am going to step off the stage. I'm just going to let Vanessa tell the story and let you all enjoy this. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for having me. Right off the bat, I'm just going to ask you this question. What would it feel like in your life to be a little more free from unwanted emotions, fear, anxiety, stress, uncertainty? Sounds good, right? Like, to me, it sounds great. That's why I got into this work and have been really interested in these things for almost all my life, really. And my name's Vanessa, and this is part of what I do in my work as the Mindflow coach. And this is just something that I have on my social media about your natural capacity to heal and moving to the next level in your life. So before I go on, some stories about things that I've done for some past clients and things that people have come to me wanting to work on. And some of these things are improved relationships, better health, improved work performance, financial health, self-understanding or finding more fulfillment or meaning in their life, and creating more self-esteem and confidence. So those are some of the things that people come to me to work on. And some stories that from clients that I've worked with, for example, one woman that I worked with, as in this picture with this toddler, she was having a lot of problems with her daughter, just a lot of power struggles in the morning, getting up and leaving the house was just it was just a power struggle, always fighting with each other. And I believe her daughter was a toddler, so that's not out of the ordinary. That's not really a unique situation. But I think with her, we only worked a couple times, maybe 1 or 2 sessions. And after doing, part of my work is doing emotional resolution, but that's not the only thing I do. But we worked on this power struggle she was having with her toddler. And after just like 1 or 2 sessions, we did a follow-up, and she said she was feeling more peaceful in the mornings, not having that kind of one-upmanship with her daughter, you know, get the shoes on, no, I don't want to get my shoes, that sort of thing. Having less of that, less stress. And so she was feeling good just after a couple sessions doing that with me. And another client that I had, this was a few years ago, this was actually a friend. She has a lot of social anxiety, and she was recollecting this moment when she ran into somebody that she knew at a park, and she has these social anxiety moments where she sees a person and she says, you know, well, I know that person, but I don't really want to talk to them. Let me walk over here and maybe not have to talk to this person. But she went up to her, and you know, she gets these anxious feelings where she doesn't know what to say, or she gets these feelings of self-worth come up, you know. So anyway, I also worked with her just for a couple sessions, and during the follow-up said that she wasn't having this feeling anymore, which is an amazing thing. So, and then another story is a person that through their, I'll just say it right away, this is me, okay, this is my story. I'm not gonna make you guess who it is, this is me. So I grew up with a very traumatic background. My childhood, I was kind of growing up from here in Chicago and the Philippines, back and forth being shuttled between different families. I was a victim of sexual abuse as a very young child, and dealt really my whole life with really deep depression, even from starting in childhood. Just looking back on it now, I could see that there were signs of depression even as a young child. And then through my teenage years, really, I had this kind of struggle with having an angel on my one side and the devil on one side. It was really being very destructive. I had a lot of destructive behaviors that you don't, my teenagers in the back, I'm not gonna talk about any of the stuff that he used to do. But at the same time, really trying to self-heal and looking into all these different methods that I could use to heal myself. So I was, just in my mid-teens, I already started delving into meditation, spirituality, and really trying to self-heal, but at the same time still being really destructive. I really didn't know what to do with myself. And so as I went on into my 20s, I was always just really interested in things like psychology, self-healing. And in my 20s, I also actually studied at an ashram, which is like a spiritual school. So for several years of my 20s, I really was deep in meditation, studying at a school like this with a spiritual teacher. And I'm still involved with them up to this day. So since then, in my 20s, I've taught workshops. I teach individuals and groups. And my main mission as a Mindflow coach, so my business used to be under a different name, but now it's the Mindflow coach. And my main goal is to impact as many lives and touch as many lives as possible. And that's through my mind coaching for personal development and EmRes, which is a method I use for emotional resolution. And so when I help individuals and groups, I help them overcome stress, disruptive emotions, unwanted behaviors. I'm also certified to do this for people with addictions, compulsive behaviors like eating conditions, gambling, all these sorts of things. And again, some of the other things we do help people conquer blocks or obstacles like mental blocks you might have. As entrepreneurs, we have so many different, mental blocks. I can go on and on. So one of my other goals is helping people with peak performance and really helping them on their path to becoming their best version of themselves. And other things like gaining clarity, emotional resilience, confidence, and enhancing their ability to really achieve their goals and thrive in life rather than struggling so much and dealing like what I was doing when I was growing up, really just struggling quite a lot. So when people talk about coaching, a lot of people don't really know what coaching is in general. They think that, coaches are there just to listen to your problems and the coach kind of spews out solutions and you have to go, you got homework to do for the next week. That's not really what I do in my coaching. Mind coaching in particular is I really help, through my experience, just my self-inquiry, having grown up and doing a lot of self-study, meditation, and all these things. In my mind coaching, I help people really kind of understand how they process their experiences and their behaviors, why they respond in certain ways, why they react in certain ways, and how we could improve that so that they more are able to react and respond to life in more appropriate and more effective ways so that you can be more successful and thrive. In mastering your behaviors, responses, and being able to have longer lasting change and quicker change than just kind of like pushing through your struggles. There's better ways to do it. And then for EmRes, this is the emotional resolution part of what I do. Some people come to me just for coaching. Some people only just want to do the emotional resolution part. I like to, sometimes in my coaching, it's inevitable when you're talking about your goals that emotions are going to come up. It's pretty, common. So I like to combine both of those things, but sometimes people just want to do the emotional resolution. And so what is emotional resolution, or EmRes? The method I use is called EmRes. And it's what we call a visceral somatic quieting of the emotions. And so whenever we have emotions, so for public speaking, for example, I don't know how many of you presented here before. Public speaking is pretty much, in studies, they say that it's the #1 fear that people have, even above death. The death is #2 in public speaking. Public speaking is #1. So if you have a talk coming up, you'd rather die than to make it to your speech, right? So so for example, in the example of public speaking, when we have a fear of public speaking, when we get up in front of folks, your heart beats really fast. You might get clammy hands. You might get butterflies in your stomach, these sorts of things, right? All of these things happen when we have emotions, and every emotion has a different set of physical sensory experience. So a fear of spiders might manifest in your body differently than public speaking, right? For example, like fear of snakes for some people, a lot of people have this physical sensation of feeling like they're being squeezed. Anyways, so I'm supposed to get going. I talk too much. So the EmRes is really based on a lot of modern scientific studies, and it's used by specialists, therapists, clinicians all around the world. I'm not going to go through this part, but I already talked about coaching. And these are just some of the professionals and neuroscientists that we base EmRes on. And I do, like I said, I do one-on-one and group coaching. This is a workshop I did at the Rogue River Library a few months ago. My goals are to have more online content, online programs. I specifically want one for entrepreneurs in helping them achieve their goals and overcoming emotional blocks towards their goals. I'm trying to develop a book for later this year, trying to develop the draft. And masterminds, mentor groups, and this is just some online things, more pictures of me, like you really want to see that. This is where I was certified for emotional resolution. This is the Emotional Health Institute. If anybody wants to look that up, it's emotionalhealthinstitute.org. And there's a lot of great resources on there if anybody wants to look that up. More pictures of me, sorry. And this is where I got some of my coaching training. Dr. David Kruger, he's a neuroscience expert and a top executive coach. He runs a organization called NeuroMentor, and this is also his organization that I was certified through. They mentor CEOs, business executives, anybody who's in sort of more business the industry and really learning how to manage their behaviors and be more effective in the way they run their businesses or how they interact with people. So yes, so that's all my info. My website, actually, like I said, I was under a different name, so that website is still not operating at the moment. You can see me on Facebook. My LinkedIn also is still under my old name, but that will be up soon. Also, and as an aside, if anybody, I'm going to be running workshops at this permaculture workshop and retreat center that I run, and we'll be holding workshops and classes there. If anybody knows people who want to run workshops out in nature, this is sort of what it looks like there. And then this is my ask. Some questions that I have, which would help me kind of improve my programs, specifically like the one I was talking about. I want to develop an online program for entrepreneurs. So I do have questions, being that you are all entrepreneurs. But first, are we taking questions from the audience? Thank you.
Two questions. One, how do people handle, we know each other. How do people handle rejection? Because there's a fear of rejection that sometimes shuts us down, but also when we get rejection, we can mull over that for days, weeks, months, and years. How do we deal with rejection, and how do we eliminate it from our thought process?
Okay, yes, that's a good question. We'll be here all day. How do we handle rejection? Yes, so different fears really have different roots for each person. It can be very unique, and when it comes to rejection, oftentimes it has connections to self-worth. Honestly, most of what the struggles that we deal with in adulthood is just a larger version of what we dealt with as a child. Whatever you're dealing with in adulthood was conditioned in you as a child. We don't like to think of that way, but unconsciously and subconsciously, whatever was programmed in us as a child is evident in the way that you deal with the world today. So, yeah, so with rejection, like each person, I deal with each person in a different way, really depending on what they need. There's usually a lot of fear behind rejection, obviously. Fear of not being understood, fear of not being loved, fear of being ostracized. Those are all really deep, kind of primal fears that humans have. One of the basic human needs, is love and acceptance. So, yeah, I would, in that case, the emotional resolution is really helpful. And one of the things really is when we're facing emotions is we tend to distract ourselves. We're so distracted in life now, obviously. Phones, movies, we can Netflix all day long for 3 days and not have to pay attention to anybody in our life, right? So we're so distracted, and we spend a lot of time running away from the things that trouble us and that we struggle with. Some people might deal with it with eating. Some people might drink. Some people might party a lot or over-exercise. There's people that over-exercise. They kind of try to get away from whatever is on their mind. So you gotta exercising is great, but if there's also a fine line between injuring yourself and these sorts of things. So yeah, it's complicated. I deal with each person in a different way, but really, it's what the main thing is. We can't heal something if we're always running away from it. So that's the main thing is we really have to face it in order to heal it. And it's not. It sounds really scary, but once you're in it, what's really great about EmRes is we don't actually, in the way that we deal with emotions, we don't have to talk. It's not like talk therapy. We don't have to talk about something over and over for years. We deal with how it's showing up in our body, and it's much quicker. It's much easier. You don't have to talk about trauma, and it's just great. So, yes, I hope that sort of answered your question. Yes.
So this is more, not really a question. I just wanted to see if I could help you with all of your online presence. It doesn't have to be a deal or anything. But we help mission-driven organizations just like yours, and especially your mission of trying to help entrepreneurs with the stress, with the imposter syndrome that we go through every day. I don't know, it just really resonated with me. So if you ever need help. Yeah.
Great, yes. Love to talk.
How you doing, Vanessa?
Oh, yes.
First
Hi.
Hi, my name's Sadie. I own No Man No Lotus Yoga and Healing Center, and I want to collaborate with you after.
Wonderful.
Do you have an office that people come to, or do you just kind of go out into the community?
For the most part, I do work with people online on Zoom. I do have, at the permaculture retreat space camping area, I do take clients once in a while. I have a little studio office there. But for the most part, because I work with people all over, all over the country, I do Zoom sessions. But if people want to work in person, I do that. I do live workshops, classes, like I said. So
Great.
yeah, I would love to talk to you.
Yeah, and one more question. When you talk about it's not about talk therapy and you talk about dealing with emotions in the body, do you do some movement with that, or how do you... It's
not movement-based, no. It's somatic in that sense, like movement is, but it's, like I said, when we have different, even behaviors, like we work with behaviors, addictions, and things like that too. Anything that's emotionally based, anytime you have an emotion, there's always physical sensation that comes with it. And actually what they used to think in psychology is that what they used to think was that the emotion would come first, and then you would have the heart beating, and then you would have the clammy hands and like headache and butterflies in your stomach. But now what they say in neuroscience, what they've discovered is that it's really a split second. You can't tell, it's really hard to know. That's why it took them a long time to figure out. What happens is the physical sensations come first. The heartbeat comes first. The butterflies in the stomach come first. And the emotion is actually what your brain processes, how it processes all those physical sensations, and it tells you, oh, I'm not safe right now, so I need to be scared. Oh, I'm not safe right now, I need to be sad or whatever. So it's actually, that's how your brain, the emotion is your brain's like analyzing of the physical sensations. So when we do EmRes, we're dealing just with the sensations. You don't have to talk about it. You talk about it for a minute, for a second to bring up the emotion. There's different ways to do it. I teach people how to do it on themselves when they have an emotion live in the moment, right? Without needing a practitioner like myself to be there. But I also work one-on-one with people because sometimes you can't deal with an emotion by yourself. Like if you're afraid of heights and you're on the cliff, you're not, it's hard to deal with that if you're right there in the moment. Sometimes it's hard to get away and do it yourself. So that's when you would look for a practitioner like myself, a specialist, to do it. And that way, when we do it with a practitioner, we can do it on emotions that have happened in the past rather than live in the moment.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So I have a friend who's a therapist as well, and she recommended me doing this thing called EFT, and it's very similar to what you're talking about doing.
Tapping.
Yeah.
I'm not a licensed therapist. There's a distinction between that, but we do have therapists that use this method. We have doctors that use it. So yes.
But yeah, it's helped me a lot as far as processing the emotion whenever I'm in the emotion. A lot of times the frontal lobe will shut down. I could have all the information on what to do and how to react, but I'm not thinking about any of that. that has helped me process the emotion, being an emotion, and it's also rewired the way that I think, to where like anything that I can know, I'm going into a trigger moment. I'm able to calm myself down, like you said. Like that's the biggest. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, I commend you for that. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, EFT is really effective as well, and it does a kind of similar thing where what EmRes does is really kind of updating your brain's prediction of an emotion. So emotions are kind of like old software in the computer. Like your body feels unsafe. You don't feel like you can be in this situation, but in reality, at this moment, you are safe. But it's giving you like an outdated software prediction, right? So EmRes sort of like updates it in the moment, and it's really effective. In EFT does that too. Thank you.
That's something to think about. How to handle emotion when you're in the emotion.
Yeah. So we do that with EmRes in the moment.
You know, I think mental wellness is huge. I don't think that people are very, they don't understand it. And I'm a self-analyzer, overthinker. What I've come to learn, and what do you think about this, is just stay in the present. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's what's sort of what I was touching on earlier, where we can't really heal from something if we're always running from it. Like if we feel something and then we decide, oh, I'm just going to binge on Netflix, we're running from the emotion, right? When in reality, we really need to be with it in order to heal it. We can't really heal it if we don't face it head on. And it sounds scarier than it is, and it is scary. But thankfully, with things like EFT and EmRes, we can do it in the when you're having something in the moment, you can deal with it without having to run away. You just have to be with it. Thank you.
There we go. I want to thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
In '78, when I was 18, my girlfriend was murdered by Ted Bundy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I had no resource to go through, no one to help me go through that. And it took me 25 years to forgive myself, even though it wasn't my fault, it was her fault, to get through that. So by having your support group now, I think it actually saves lives. Yeah. I really do.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you for starting this.
Thank you for commenting. Yes. Thank
well,
you.
One last question, Vanessa.
Yes.
How can this community help you?
Just like if you're interested, visit my Facebook page. I was going to ask some of these questions, but I'm interested as an entrepreneur. What are your biggest struggles? Whether they're emotional, physical, mental, or any kind of obstacle you have in your life as an entrepreneur? What do you struggle with the most to get to the next level of your business, to get to the next level of, effectivity and in your life? So that's one of my questions. And as a fun question for you, if you had no fear and no doubt or hesitation at all, what would be the one thing that you would want to do in your life right now, and why haven't you done it yet? Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the newest member of our Orange Mug Club. Yes.
Right?
Yes. I did want to say, so Vanessa, thank you so much for coming and presenting. We have had other coaches on this stage, and I love, one of the things that's amazing is each of us are different, right? And our needs are different as well, and different things resonate with each of us. So I love the fact that we have a variety of amazing people who have the training that they have and the desire to help our community grow. And you mentioned the entrepreneur, you want to do like film some stuff for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
On,
yes.
Yeah, okay. So I would love to talk to you about possibly doing that here, running as a workshop. We have a full production here, so we can record a live workshop that you host.
That would be great.
You could have that then uses content.
Yeah, I would
that could
love
be
that.
cool. Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's something that I'll throw out there.
Thank
If any of y'all have things like that that you would like to turn into content, online course or something like that, and in trade, have some of our amazing entrepreneurs and other people here be able to join those sessions, and we can talk about what that might look like. We'd love to talk. So awesome. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Thank you very much.
And Stephanie, thank you so much for your presentation today. Yes, yes, amazing. Well done, well done. I do want to bring up real quick, Allie and Ben, if you guys can join me real quick. Hi, Ben didn't even know I was going to bring him up here. Ha, ha, ha. I gave Allie a little heads up and not Ben. Basically, I wanted to give them just 1 second to also invite you to the session that's coming up at 11:30, and they will probably do a better job than I did, so.
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm the owner of Sapphire Social Media, and this is Ben Collins. He's the owner of Dark Gravity Productions, and we've done a lot of work together, and something that we have in common is helping business owners and content creators tell their stories online. We've heard a lot about storytelling today, which is amazing, and a lot of business owners don't know where to start with that. And so Ben approached me asking if I wanted to collaborate with him on this masterclass, and I was like, sure, why not? So we're going to be here at 11:30 to 12:45, and it'll be 30 minutes of us speaking and teaching, 30 minutes of an activity, and then we'll have a Q&A. So we hope you all join, and here you go.
There's nothing more to say after that. Thank you. No, you're great. It's perfect. It means I don't have to say anything. We hope to see you there this afternoon. Thank you.
It's also and it's free. So there you go. Awesome. Y'all are amazing. Thank you again. Like, sometimes it gets to be about 9:28, and I look around, I'm like, oh man, like it's a little thin today. And then all of a sudden, shabam, everybody just like magically falls out of the rafters or something. I don't know, but you're all here. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting each other. Thank you for bringing your stories, your questions. This is how we have this back and forth, and we all grow through that experience. And also, do not miss out on one of the most powerful pieces of this experience, which is that you're in the room with each other, right? So we do have time now. We have about half hour, 45 minutes where you can hang out and get to know some of the people sitting at the table with you. If you haven't met them before, or if they spoke and you remembered you had some questions, or if you're thinking about speaking, like, these are all things worth hanging out and chatting about, okay? And also, don't miss out on talking with the speakers that spoke today. And if you have any other questions for either Stephanie or Vanessa, they're here for at least a few minutes. So thank you. Yeah, Jerry. We're going back to the plumber. We got plumbers in the house. Hey, speaking of which, let's chat. No. Awesome. Thank you all very much for being here. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week at 9:30.